Thursday, Learnday. All right, let's do this thing. So, I just wanted to show a little bit of what I do with these pedals. So, this is my basic setup for when I go gigging. So, this is the Thursday Learn Day episode. I forget the number, but I'll put it, it'll be somewhere here. I'm about to go play a gig. I need to do this quick because I don't have to look, I guess in my mind, I don't have to look as good for you guys. I'm sorry, but I gotta look a little bit better for the live gig. Anyway, after playing for a while now, playing live events, I started to learn more about how to deliver essentially a musical product that people want to book again, or that people are, and essentially if you're making the audience, if you're engaging the audience, and they're happy about the music, then you're very likely to be booked again. I think it's pretty. That part's simple, or that concept is simple. The more complicated part is figuring out how do you actually do that? How do you make music that does that for people? I think one of the simplest things to think about is your own emotional state, and you need to be in a place where you are excited to be playing, and you're motivated, and you're energized, and you're focused, and you're there to serve. And if you've got those things going, that's a really good start, and that goes a long way. Then there are other things that I think one of the challenges is if you're singing for 3 hours, if you're playing music for 3 hours as a solo acoustic act, you've got your guitar tone and you got your voice tone. And any tone that you listen to for 3 hours straight, it can get pretty tiring. You can get weary of it. And so that's one of the challenges, is trying to figure out ways to keep listeners engaged and keep from doing something that wears on their ears or on their ability to pay attention. And so I've picked up some simple ways to do that. And another thing that for me, and then I'll demo some of this. Another thing for me is I don't like to do a lot of talking when I play. I think one of the reasons is because I'm just not that good at it yet, and it's something I need to work on. And as I continue to go forward in my music and performing live, that is something that I plan to work on. But it's difficult when you're engaging the audience. You don't ever know what's going to happen, and unless you're really confident in your ability to manage any feedback or anything coming back and understand it and engage with that in a competent way that keeps a positive momentum to the event and to the atmosphere. If you're not confident in that, then maybe follow this. And one of the things that I like to do so that I don't have to do a lot of talking and yet I keep a vibe going is to use a looper. And the looper also allows me to break up the vocals. And so I can have stretches of time that are just instrumental. And it doesn't need, I think for me, a long time, I was overestimating what I needed to be able to do instrumentally. And really all I need to be able to do especially when I'm playing background gigs, is be able to put out something that feels okay. It needs to not put people to sleep, and it needs to not be so out of key or out of pitch or out of rhythm that it is hard for people to experience. If it's easy for people to experience and it feels okay, and ideally you're having a great time and that joy, you're putting that into your instrument, then I think you're good. So other thing I've got here is a harmony pedal. So I've got a Boss VE2 vocal harmonizer. I've got a Boss RC1 loop pedal. It's the most basic loop pedal. I don't think you need to go more than that. unless you really want to dive into loop pedals. Just having the simple looper there is good enough for me. And then I've got a LR Baggs Venue DI. I think I want to eventually go back to my Zoom AC3, which I think did more for me, but this is good for now. It helps you EQ your guitar, get a better tone out of your guitar. So that's one of the things too, is making your guitar as listenable as possible, getting as rich of a tone so as you can hear those lows. Try to get everything to ring out clear. The mixing is really important. But I like to do this. Strum that open up. Just kind of play around, trying to not hit, but even if you hit a weird note, like, it's not the end of the world. It's like you're playing around, and as long as you're making the effort and you're trying, it's like it's fine. Kind of the whole point. That's what everybody's doing. Even when they're like people are out there having conversations, they're all learning how to be better at being social and being together and being people. And you're doing the same thing. All right, so you and me. Come from different worlds. You like to laugh at me when I look at other girls. Sometimes you're crazy and you wonder why. I'm such a baby, yeah, the dolphins make me cry. Well, there's nothing I can do. Been looking for a girl like you. You look at me, got nothing left to say. I'll only pout at you till I get my way. You won't dance, you won't sing. Just wanna love you, but you wanna wear my ring. Well, there's nothing I can do. I only wanna be with you. You can call me your fool. I only wanna be with you. Alright, now I'm just gonna change the rhythm. Put on a little Dylan, sitting on the fence. I say that line is great, you ask me what I meant. That totally, what is it? Totally, I'd never done that before though. But that's kind of cool, it's just different and it just changes. Anything I can do to just do something different than that totally threw me off. And said I said a man named Gray took his wife to Italy. She inherited $1 million, and when she died, it came to me. I can't help it if I'm lucky. I only wanna be with you. Hey, Bobby, so cool. I only wanna be with you. Now here I like to go for another jam, but if I wasn't, so let's say I want to change. So all right, so I got my loop going. I can even hear it. This is like a simple transition thing I like to go to. different vibe. Alright, so now I want to go to a different song, and it's in a different key. So I need to change my setting on my looper. So I'm going to do that. Alright, probably saw my bald head. Alright, so I got my looper set to G now, because that's where I want to go. Or I could keep it in E, and I could do other songs that I know in E. But now I'm going to take the loop off, but play it. Statues crumble for me. Who knows how long I've loved you? Everyone I know's been so good to me. 25 years old, Mother God rest her soul. I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, babe. Put your arms around me, babe. I just want to fly. Oh, what you want? Oh, what you want? I just want to fly. Fly so high, high up in the sky. Flying so high. Dance a little stranger, show me what you got. Love can take you hostage, make you wanna do it again. There's no time to think before the starting or the end. We'll find out, I'm told. Mother God rest her soul. I just wanna fly. All right, so even there, I did things differently than I usually like. Slowing down, where all around the world statues or dance a little stranger. I've never done it that way before, but it's like being playful and just trying to have fun with it, and it's fine. And then come back in. I just want to come back in big there, and I don't know, just play and do it. But I guess that's one of the things. Like, if you're having fun and just being playful and enjoying it and enjoying the whole experience of moving through the sound and moving the sound around and making music, it just comes through. And then if you can be intelligent about sort of strategies towards dealing with potential pitfalls, like the fact that people might be listening to the same tone, your same voice for 3 hours, and that if you listen to anything for 3 hours straight, it can start to wear on you. Then what can you do to break it up? Well, hey, one thing is to break up sections that are instrumental and sections that are with singing. Another thing to do is get harmonies that adds a new quality to the voice, and then you can break it up and do that. Also, variation in song choice is huge, and I try to keep most of the stuff that I do upbeat, but I also think there's a misunderstanding about what it means to be upbeat, because you can play a slow tempo song and sing it with conviction and positivity, and it can carry a room just like fly. Or whatever. All right, so with this little setup, this is what I take to all my gigs. Basically, anywhere I play, I do this. And I'm thinking about maybe adding one more thing, which would be some kind of reverb pedal. Something that gives me the ability to play a little bit with that quality of the sound. Now, I do have that in my mixer, which is a XR18, a Behringer XR18. But for any gigs where I might be plugging into somebody else's setup, I'd like to have the ability to control that aspect of my guitar. And in particular in the guitar, I think the vocals, I don't mind if the vocals are totally dry. But the guitar, I like to be able to change the reverb settings depending on the room. If it's a room like this one is, which is almost a square, a little bit of a rectangle with just walls. I've got stuff here to hang up that I've hung up to help deaden the sound, and sound absorption panels that I built. But some spaces don't have that stuff, and you get in there and you don't want any reverb. If you have any reverb, it's already too much reverb in the room. So other places, especially outdoors, I like to have a decent amount of reverb because it just like feels like you're in a dream or something if you get the right amount. So I think that's pretty important. But otherwise, I'm running with these three pieces, and I'm pretty happy with this. One pretty important thing is this boost switch, which gives me a decibel boost to my guitar just by hitting a pedal. Can you hear it? So that's great. This tuner isn't great, but I get used to it, and one of the really nice aspects of the tuner is that it just mutes the guitar. So with just these three units, and you have to understand how the vocal harmonizer works, you have to dive in a bit deeper with it, and you have to develop mic technique to get the most out of the harmony. I got a new mic, so I'm still working on how this mic works together with this vocal harmonizer. But I think it's going to be really effective. Yeah, I hope that helps you. This is the way I get through basically all my gigs and try to break it up and keep the music engaging and as interesting as possible. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, all that. I've got a band called Knowing the Space Arc. Check us out. It's 40 Days, 40 Flights, Instagram, Facebook. Thanks, and you guys have a good one. Peace out. Las playas del Carmen y Tulum, Sinote, Ukulele. Estamos feliz y perdido en que se ríe.